about one Rena, the home, when we say Ghana, I guess Ghana, able to and this is when you have break, and people so near break, they say, Ubia, your wow, Ubia supporters head, they say, Ubia, Bibia, she can't, Usha, don't mind, they say, Ubia has why she Ubia percent the candidate in winning, and this people say, John Doman Mahama winning, and then people so on say, Dr. Mahmoud or me, and winning, to be Bia, I be jar, and to know, and something in a brem or chromatic, so I am my uncle, never video now, which near my echo.
Strongholds, not by
a small margin.
Not by small margins. They're losing strongholds by huge margins.
Because their supporters didn't show up.
Huge margins.
True.
Huge margins. And I don't know, we haven't watched presidential. Do we have presidential? We'll bring presidential. When presidential comes, we'll get it for you pretty shortly. But that is another one. Let's quickly go to Sweetie Abochi, who's joining us right now. Hello, Sweetie. And I know you have a lot to report for us. And this is the Ablekuma West area, where Owusu is the incumbent there. And there had been some challenges.
The powerful Owusu.
Yes. Hello, Sweetie. Talk to us. What's the latest?
Hi, Evans and Winston. Well, the collation has ended so far. Well, let me say, last time I checked, that was a little over an hour ago. Out of the 224 polling stations, 154 had been collated. And out of that, Ursula had 17,365 votes. And Reverend Kwado had 22,070 votes. Currently, they're counting the special votes that was cast about 2 weeks ago. But we are missing 9 polling station results, probably from those ballot.
Oh, goodness. We may have lost it. We lost her briefly. There may have been interaction with her.
Papers that were destroyed. Okay. We are waiting to see the POs will come back with the pink sheets because they are nowhere to be found. And we are waiting for those 9 results. Meanwhile.
Oh, goodness. Whoever is calling Sweetie should stop calling her. Clearly, somebody's trying to call her and it's interrupted with her line.
You just need to watch her live. She will tell you everything.
Yes, she's on her.
We know what you're looking for.
Yes.
She will give it to you.
To tell us the result. Yeah. But what I wanted to do was to write the latest, as she was saying, so we begin to sort of make sense.
So 17 versus 22,000.
Okay. She's back, I believe. Sweetie, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. It's getting rather loud here, but...
Oh, goodness. Okay. But the last time we heard from her, and this is...
Just to conclude, if this result is anything out, that Reverend Kwado is giving us Owusu here in Ablekuma West.
Okay, stay with us for a second. We need to do this, put it on the screen so we can analyze it a bit more. So you have Owusu, right? And
yes.
I'm going to use you.
Yes, Ursula.
That's right.
So you is okay.
You is okay. Has what? Sweetie, let's go.
17,365. That was 145.
And 65. Don't worry, we'll talk about over what pretty shortly. And then you have the other candidate from the NDC,
Reverend
Ado.
Okay, so
with
Reverend
22,000.
Okay. Go on.
And 70.
Say that again.
22,070. 22,070.
22,000.
070.
And yes,
070. And this is over what? What is left to come?
9.
About 70 more left to come.
Say that again.
70.
70.
Okay. 70 what? Polling stations. Okay.
Polling stations.
Okay, so let's just put that here. And then just circle it so that we know what we are playing with. Okay. And Sweetie, stay with me. Let's do this quickly. So 70.
Yes.
There is still a possibility, is there not?
That's right.
There's that something may happen that Ursula from 17,000.
It depends on the total valid vote cast.
Yes. But also where
also
in the
turnout.
Turnout.
Yeah.
Good. And where in the constituency
the votes are coming from.
Exactly. It could be from strongholds of the NPP and etc. etc.
At this point in time, in an urban area, when the punishment starts, you can feel it. And
so we are the biggest casualty.
I voted in this constituency.
So this is your constituency?
Yes, I voted in this constituency. And the election officials were telling me as at 3 o'clock that apathy, there was so much apathy. They were repeating the word apathy to me, including the party agents. They were saying apathy. And Ursula, the last time, had such a battle for the primaries there because, as we understood, she had promised at the last elections that was going to be her last, showing in Parliament. And there was the Ronnie Nicole, also of the NPP, who was deputy CEO of the State Housing Company. Yeah. And when it was time for the primaries, Ursula shows up and says, I'm not giving up, I'm going again. And so some of the delegates were unhappy about that kind of move. And it became such a tussle between herself and Ronnie Nicole. So I can see the questioning of apathy that some of the NPP members themselves did not show up to vote.
But there's also complaint, I'm not sure if you have heard it, and I've heard people say it, even broadly on social media, that this is a member of parliament who cares very little about the people in the constituency. Only shows up last minute, sometimes with goodies. But the kind of care that they expected from her over the period has not been. So people who ordinarily would have felt, I support this party, so I'll go out to vote for it, became a bit, they stayed back. They stayed back because at some point in the politics of this republic, people now start to count what they have gained. Like we all ask, what have we gained from our democracy? What they have gained from all the support they provide, from all the loyalty they provide, from all the consistent engagements that they have done over the period. And that was becoming an issue. In fact, if you have had a conversation about an MP who lives somewhere in Ajingano and doesn't come to the constituency and all of the other conversations, that is what they gear into. They basically say, you can't show up last minute with goodies with the hope of changing minds.
But let's not discount also that Reverend Ado is contesting the second time.
Exactly. Yeah.
And he's being consistent about it. Right. So
so that's an important point. And by the way, Sweetie, the point about apathy and us and how it reflects in the voter turnout, what can you tell us about it? I know you were going around even before collation started to polling stations and polling stations. What can you report about that? Do we have any clarity on the turnout? Because that will tell us a bit how this is going to end up.
Right. Let me use one polling station as an example. They were expecting about 630.
Oh, we lost her there again. She's definitely going to come back. But I'm not going to be surprised.
6 people at 4 p.m. yesterday when we were going round. The polling stations were inactive. Nothing was happening. It appears that...
Oh, goodness. I'm saying I'm not going to be surprised if she ends up telling us that the turnout was low.
It was low.
At the polling station.
But the last time, in 2020, she beat the Reverend Ado by some 7,000 votes.
Yeah, 7,000 votes.
Right. So it also sounded almost impossible for Reverend Ado to make this kind of showing. Yeah, even though we cannot say yet that the coast is clear for
Reverend Ado. Yes, Sweetie.
Okay, so I don't know if I'm still on, but...
You're on. Oh, goodness. We have lost Sweetie again, interrupting there. But if you're just joining us, and Ablekuma West has been hot all evening.
It has consistently been declared 7. Last election year, it was 54, and Reverend Ado got 45. This morning when I put...
Oh, goodness. Oh, we're losing her there. But, and something was going back to 2020 to tell the story about Ablekuma West. And Ablekuma West, I can find that there.
You have it?
There.
Yeah.
There. Samson, you're making the point there. This is 2020.
That's right.
This is Reverend Ado there. Close the gap to 7,000.
That's right.
So this is a strong person. He was closing the gap. Let's look at statistics. Let's look at the trend and see Ursula's performance there in the area. Again, this is an area that since 2012, NPP has won.
Yeah, it's been Ursula.
And the trend...
But she's been declining. She's been declining.
Yeah,
for 58%, 57%. Then subsequently to 54%.
Worst performance, yes, was the last elections.
Now, even with 54%, it's not such a bad performance for you to be thrown out of...
Sweetie's bad. Sweetie, yes, you're making a point before we lost you.
No, Evans, I was just making the same point. You have to pardon me. The internet here is terrible.
No problem at all. No problem at all.
Yeah, so I'm going back here, and I think they started adding the special voting back to where they were collating the results, and I'll cycle back to you, Evans.
Okay, thank you very much. Sweetie is going to get us that pretty shortly. but this is the picture. As we know it, this is the state of play right now in Ablekuma West. Ursula Owusu is behind the NDC candidate. As we have it, she is with 17,365. And Reverend Ado has 22,070. But we still have 70 more polling stations to go, right? And we've said we need to know where these polling stations are, which parts of the constituencies coming from. Is it an NPP stronghold, an NDC stronghold? Then that gives a sense of what it is. But then also, what else? Another factor that is important in terms of judging where this may end up. Turnout is key.
Yeah, because
turnout is key.
It will determine the number of votes available and whether or not it goes whichever direction, whether it will increase the gap or diminish that and reverse the current trend.
Anecdotally, we are saying Samson lives there. He voted there. He says it appears and looks low. But again, reasonably inferring from whatever we've seen across the country, we expect that it to be lower than 2020. And if that is what is happening, incumbents suffer.
And the voters in the constituency appear to have been speaking around the fact that about things that appear to bring her some pressure, so that in the last couple of weeks, a number of the roads have been, as it were, cleared.
Worked down.
How do you call it? Smoothened.
Yeah.
The roads that are not tarred have been smoothened. A few of them have had some gravel, splash on them. I mean, almost all the roads that were rough and not tarred have received a smoothing across the constituency. And people have said that she appears to have acknowledged or realized that she was under pressure, that this man could unseat her.
Again, so the third stronghold we've seen that the NDC has flipped for the first time. Third stronghold in a row. And we say strongholds are a dominant NPP, dominant blue. There is another central regional constituency in. We did Asin Central.
That's right.
Asin North is in.
Okay. All right. So John Mahama, 17,000
is green now.
762, and Mahmoud Bamia, 12,705. That was in the situation in 2020. They flipped.
They flipped it. It's green. And this is a green wave we are beginning to talk about now.
Order for one share video in be a course election with the annoy ship papa order for and I made the election year costume seminar BC our chromatic mamma will be somebody like and matter subscribe my notification bell so my commenting yes your videos in so my na yes some funny in videos in your opinion and some more chromatic you see idea but the money na say but the money see her but sense about change you